So, I suck at drawing in real life. Now give me a drawing tablet and some references and I can draw pretty much anything you like. But give me a piece of paper and my imagination and you're gonna get an absolute abomination. I was at a party recently and realised, when everybody shows their talents off, like playing guitar for example, they simply just grab a guitar and then go at it with absolutely no preparation. The whole time this was happening, I was just sat there thinking, I'd love to show them how I draw, but they'd have to wait for me to grab a bunch of references, the nearest drawing tablet, and then wait another 20 minutes for me to figure out basic anatomy. In the end, I went for the nearest pencil and ended up with a drawing so bad I'm glad I didn't tell anyone that I do art as a hobby. And at that very moment, I decided to change my lack of real-world art skill. So here's how I learned to draw in front of people. In real life, no references, just a pen and some paper. Let's get to it. So, the first thing I did was to just start drawing on some paper. And okay, the first one's pretty bad, but hopefully the next one can be better, right? Right? And as you can see, I struggled. Like, really struggled. I'm so used to the ease of digital art that I found working on paper familiar, but much more difficult. After looking at my end result, I could see that I was lacking any kind of directional understanding of where things needed to be placed on the paper. And it wasn't only that bothering me, but also the fact that I just didn't like how it looked, like visually. So, to help with this, I went straight to my art books. I swear, I use these things as a cheat code anytime I'm stuck with art. So I grabbed a couple of books from my favourite inking artists and came to this book from the anime Akabe's Sailor Uniform. Now I picked this book up from Germany, so to all my German viewers, you guys got good taste. I scrubbed through the pages until I found a couple of illustrations that I liked, grabbed my phone, took a picture, and got ready to do some studying. My mindset at the time was to just do a simple style study, looking at where and what lines were exaggerated on the paper. My main mission being building up that confidence in my line work. After doing the first one, I decided to start experimenting by starting with maybe the eyes or the jaw and trying to figure out what worked best for me. Unlike with digital art, I wasn't able to use any gesture lines or form lines without having to incorporate them into the drawing itself, literally making me think about every single line I placed. Now this sounds fairly dumb and simple, but when you've been doing digital art for so long, it's really not something you think about. I found myself really struggling when it came to things like clothing. I had to recall everything I'd learnt about pinch points and couldn't just guess and cheat my way through it like I normally do. And that's the page filled. Now, it's not bad, but I couldn't help thinking that there's just something missing. Something about it just didn't feel right. I think what I really need at this point is some real-world practice. So let's grab our book and go touch some grass. Now, it's one of the 10 days in England that it's actually sunny, so let's go find some nice views. So after setting myself up on this rock, I decided to block out the general shape of the vehicle. Then next, I decided to block the view of the camera with my arm for pretty much the rest of the video. Silliness aside, I found myself having the exact same problem drawing a vehicle as I did drawing anime girls, that being absolutely no confidence in my line work. One of the main reasons I decided to draw cars was to bring this confidence level up, so I wasn't off to the best start. But in the end, at least I got a cute little sketch of my car, which definitely warmed me up, so I decided to jump in the car and actually just draw some anime girls. Rather like my car drawing, I got the general shapes down, remembering not to draw any lines where I didn't want them on the face. And looking back at it now, it's really not as bad as I remember it being, but unfortunately, yet again, it was just another failure. This got me really angry as well. It was driving me nuts at this point. I just couldn't figure out why can I not draw on paper. At this point, I'd had just about enough of everything and thought, screw it. Sat down with my pen at home and just spent literal weeks drawing anime girl after anime girl after anime girl after anime girl. And you know what? Eventually, it actually started working. On my way home from work one day, I had my camera with me, so I decided to stop off next to some windmills and just started sketching. And I could already tell that I started to improve. The poses and expressions weren't necessarily any better, but the confidence in my line work was, and that was starting to make a difference. The key thing I'd learned being how to visualize my structure on the paper without actually having to illustrate it. So let's do some final sketches and see if we've improved. I decided to start off this time with the jawline. This was a really good anchor point for the rest of the face and the whole body, so it really worked well for me. Next, I very faintly drew some guidelines to help me position the eyes, and then I moved on to the hair and those two squishy things. You might be able to guess who I'm drawing at this point. I then moved on to her clothing, just taking things steady, and the whole time I was drawing, I was constantly having to remember things like how her head helps line up the size and width of her shoulders. Little things like this that I'd learned along the way really came in useful here. All these things meant that I didn't have to put guidelines down, helping keep the whole piece clean. Now the perspective's a bit off, but not bad for a little warm-up. Let's move on to the next one. I decided to carry on the Hololive theme, and I started off with a very, very faint circle. I found that using the side of the pen makes it basically invisible, but you can just see it enough that you can get your guidelines down. And I wanted to do a cheeky expression, so I made sure to give her a pretty big grin. Right, now I've added the hair, you should be able to tell what character it is. This next bit was quite challenging. I wanted to draw her hand, but without any guidelines, it would make it quite difficult. So I drew her hand first and then connected her hand to her body, rather than her body to her hand, like I'd normally do. I then finished her hoodie off and moved on to one of the best parts about drawing on paper, hatching. Hatching is something I always do on my digital art, but I tell you what, hatching on paper just looks so good. And there we have it. I think I'm quite warmed up now, so let's move on to a full page and do one final drawing. Now for this final piece, we're going to go dream scenario and pretend I have a pencil. Now I know what you're thinking, that kind of defeats the purpose of only using a pen, but I just wanted to see what I could do. So I decided to draw Gura again, and I started off as always with a good old circle. I then drew her eyes and give her a good old cheeky grin. This time I didn't want to leave her hands till last, so I got them out of the way and drew them first. Then I kind of completely forgot what she looked like. So I pulled up a quick reference just to remember and pretty much got straight back to it. I then very lightly sketched down a base for her hair and hoodie, and then it was time to start inking. Now let me tell you, next time I'm drawing in public, I'm going to make sure I have a pencil available, because this was the biggest revolution of all, and the reason I'm keeping it in. This was just going to be me drawing for fun originally, but what I realized is just how much of a difference it makes just having that tiny little bit of help from a pencil first, like night and day. This is something that I didn't really expect to notice from this challenge, but now that I look at it, when I see like inking work that I really enjoy online, I notice that there's like erasing marks underneath from a pencil, and most of the inking work has been done with pencil sketches underneath and then inking on top. I always assumed it was straight to ink. I guess it isn't, and that might not always be the case, but for a lot of it that I enjoy, it turns out to be, and that was a big difference and a big awakening for me. After adding this pencil first, I feel like, oh my god, it's so easy to draw on pen. And that's not true, but it definitely made it a lot easier. And now I'm finished yapping, there we have it. A little drawing of Gura done in a kind of quirky, inky way that I quite like. Not the best work, not the worst work. I think I can do better, and you know what? I want to do better. I'm going to keep drawing, and I'm going to keep drawing on paper constantly and constantly and constantly. I'm not going to stop until I get better, and I'll reshoot this because I'm not overly happy with my end results. I still want to go straight on ink on paper and just go wild, you know? Anyway, thanks for watching my little journey, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, guys. See you later.